Laren walked through lands that seemed to shift with every step, places where the sun never fully rose and shadows danced without source. He met travelers along the way, merchants, soldiers, monks, but none of them saw the scroll or the glow from the stone. To them he was just a quiet boy with a calm face and gentle walk. One evening as he climbed a hill lined with broken statues, he found a child crying by a tree. The child had lost his voice and had been left behind by his caravan. Laren sat beside him, offered bread and shared silence. After a while the child stopped crying and wrote on the ground with a stick, "Thank you." The stone glowed softly and the air warmed. A path of light appeared leading the child back to his people, and Laren watched until he disappeared into the distance. The next day a storm came. Dark clouds rolled across the sky like angry waves and lightning split the earth. The scroll in Laren's bag vibrated slightly and the stone dimmed as if warning him he found shelter in a cave and lit a small fire. The cave walls were covered in drawings of people holding stones like his, and above them a great tree that touched the stars. One figure was marked with a cross over its heart, and Laren stared at it for hours, feeling both fear and destiny. When the storm passed he left the cave with new weight in his step. Soon he arrived at the edge of the great whispering desert, known not for heat but for voices carried in the wind. Some said the voices were of those who had failed there journey, others said they were guardians. Laren walked on and the wind began to speak, not in words but memories. He heard his mother humming while shaping clay, his father teaching him to tie knots, his grandmother laughing softly. He smiled and kept walking. After 2 days he saw a caravan ahead. It was broken wheels, shattered camels gone, and people tired and afraid. One of them, an old woman, asked if he had water. Laren gave her half of his supply and helped repair one of the wheels. Others watched, unsure why a stranger would help, but slowly they joined together and fixed what they could. Before leaving the old woman pressed a stone into his hand, not like his, a clear one, smooth and cold, and she said, "It will show you who hides behind smiles." He thanked her and continued alone. The desert was cruel and endless, yet Laren felt he was not walking but being carried by something deeper. On the third night the sand beneath his feet began to change, turning from gold to silver and stars reflected in the grains. He saw a gate up ahead made of light and silence. A figure stood there cloaked in grey, its face shifting like smoke. It said, "Only the empty may pass." Laren stood still, then without speaking he took off his bag, his pouch, his food, even the scroll. He placed it all on the ground and stepped forward. The figure nodded and vanished. As he crossed the gate everything turned quiet, even the wind, and he found himself in a valley where time seemed to sleep. Days passed, yet the sun never moved. The grass glowed softly